This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
When do you guys first remember talking about the Nation of Domination and that concept, and perhaps it being an opportunity for Farouk?
Wow. I really don't remember the time frame. I remember the idea and just looking at different people is using the Nation of Domination as a vehicle for some other people to get over as well, and to have Ron be the leader of this group. And it was kind of during a time of factions, and everything was a faction, from the Nation of Domination to the DOA to the Boricuas, just on down the line. So this was kind of the first of those groupings, and a vehicle for Ron to be the leader.
So PG-13 and Clarence Mason are put with Ron for the debut of the Nation at Survivor Series 96. Was PG-13, aka Wolfie D, and JC Ice on the radar? And was this really the best fit for them? Who was a big proponent of this act from Memphis?
I think Corny was a big proponent of them. Lawler was. They were different. They were unique. They were young, and it was completely different than anything that we had on the air at the time. Clarence Mason was somebody that Ernie Ladd had run into. I got a fine young man. He's a very good man. He's an attorney, and they can play one on TV, and you put him out there and you let him go because they can talk. Ernie is the one that actually brought Clarence to us, and I think it was Cornette that eventually named him Clarence Mason off of Perry Mason and Clarence Thomas.
It's an interesting outfit for sure. Can you tell us what the original vision of Nation of Domination was, or how it was explained to you?
Well, it was just going to be, again, it was going to be a faction of like people that had the same viewpoint, where it was kind of like them against the world. And the Nation, again, we were looking at it as a vehicle for Ron, and a vehicle for Ron to be a big star and lead it without having to do all the work. You can put some of these young kids all around him to do that.
This concept of this militant group, shall we say, is Ron on board for this? Does he express any sort of hesitations or concerns about, well, what if? Does he counter any?
No, I think that, Ron was on board for the whole thing. And I think Ron also saw this as in the same way, that this was his opportunity to step up and show his promo skills and be able to let other people do a lot of the work and let Ron sit back and shine.
Was there any discussion of race at all when the Nation is first comes to be? And I realize that in hindsight, a lot of people would say, oh, of course, but with PG-13 there, I don't know. And, when we sort of talked about Goldust before, whenever I would say the word gay, you would always cut me off and say, no, androgynous. But I am curious, did it ever come up at all that, hey, this could be a play here?
I think that some people may have looked at it that way, but that wasn't the intention in any way, shape, or form. That's probably one of the reasons that the people that we put in it, from Crush and Savio Vega, that it was diverse, and it was a diverse group with PG-13 and everybody in it.
No, and listen, I mean, I know a lot of people are going to argue that, but when Owen Hart's in it and Savio Vega and Crush and PG-13, it gives you at least some plausible deniability. It feels like it's loosely based on the Nation of Islam and perhaps the Black Panther Party. Those had to at least be influences in putting this gimmick together, right?
Not really. It was more, if anything, Nation, yes, taking that and having, the Nation of Domination.
Yes.
But again, everybody's going to come to their own conclusion, and it goes back to the old saying of those that understand, no explanations needed. Those that don't, none will do.
Yeah. I mean, no matter what, we're trying to mass market. So we don't want to be really divisive if we can help it. D'Lo Brown's going to become a de facto member without a name as well. Tell me how you remember D'Lo becoming part of the fold here. Is it just a matter of, hey, we need somebody to take some big bumps and sell here and there?
Yeah, D'Lo was somebody, and D'Lo had worked for Cornette and Smoky Mountain. D'Lo was someone that we used that looked good in a suit that could take some bumps. He was young, but D'Lo was kind of part of the background in the beginning, almost as a bodyguard to Clarence Mason. And his bumping skills and the fact that he was there for everything, whenever asked, great timing, great facials, great look. D'Lo fit in and did a hell of a job.
I feel strongly that saving money is important. You know, if it's not something we worry about now, boy, we are really going to worry about it later. And I want to help you get out of debt faster and do it with cheaper monthly payments. I'm talking to you if you're in a 30-year loan. Now is the time to take years off of your loan. We're routinely helping our listeners cut 5, 10, even 15 years off their loan. And you can do this without perfect credit, with no money out of pocket. You've just got to start at savewithconrad.com. Well, you got to have some fun PG-13 stories. My God, Jamie Dundee's a character and a half. Give me something.
God, PG-13 were on their best behavior when they were up here.
Wow.
And I remember there was one place where they were angry at something and went out, and Shawn Michaels, we were at like a college campus or something, and Shawn Michaels had the two of them out on a hill with them ranting and raving, and Shawn, of all people, being the voice of reason and telling them to be mature and grow up and, you know, get back in there and do your job. But both of those guys, Jamie and Wolfie, both, man, they were on their best behavior. They were awesome to work with, incredible talents. I don't remember any problems with them either. They were happy to be there and happy to be on the big stage.
It's just such an interesting group. Did you think they were presented like top guys? I mean, they're going to wind up at this first WrestleMania at least being promoted as the co-main event. I think most everyone would agree it was probably Austin Brett, but still, this street fight against LOD and Ahmed Johnson in Chicago, that's a big deal at a WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think they were presented in a big way. I think that they were definitely a big deal and a top act.
So the Nation breaks up after King of the Ring to splinter out into different groups. You've got Crush with the Disciples of Apocalypse, Savio Vega with Los Boricuas. Was Vince McMahon seeing the success of the NWO and said, God damn, we just need a whole bunch of those?
I think Vince thought that, you know, if you could take some of these guys and splinter them off into groups and have different factions fighting, you had the ability to make a lot more meaningful matches based off of the faction. That makes any sense. Versus having a single program with Crush and Savio, the Boricuas versus DOA is more attractive. Now, when you have Crush of DOA versus Savio of the Boricuas, that's more attractive with everybody else around it and involved. Having Miguelito Perez and 8 Ball or Skull, it's more attractive with the factions.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at savewithconrad.com.